FaZe Censor, everyone. The topic of today's episode is going to be the question mark around this guy who I think is one of the most peculiar figures, not only in esports, but also gaming and Call of Duty in the YouTube scene, in terms of the questions around this guy that I never really have fully answered about him and the way I look at him from an outside perspective. The overall question of today's episode, though, can FaZe Censor make it back to the Call of Duty professional scene? And so for all of our CoD viewers out there, greatly appreciate your opinion down below and your comments as to whether or not you think that FaZe Censor can return to the Call of Duty professional scene next year for the Call of Duty World League 2020 in a franchise spot, whether it's for FaZe or another franchise team. I am super curious what you guys think because, like I've said before, this guy is so peculiar about the things he does dabble in, whether it's YouTube, professional Call of Duty, whether it's acting in movies, whether it's weightlifting, whether it's dating that hot weather girl, Yannette Garcia, which is a really weird time for me to look back on. Is he in FaZe? Is he not in FaZe? Is he a professional Call of Duty player? Is he not? He's always been weaning back and forth, but at the same time, I've always had so much respect for the guy and the way he does grind, and he almost speaks things into fruition. He speaks these things into existence. He's such a believer in himself that he's always taken part in these other communities outside of YouTube. He has dabbled in several things now by meaningly not only grinding away at it, but also believing in himself and speaking it into existence. And his latest speaking of existence actually pertains to remaining in Call of Duty and actually going back to the professional scene, which kind of drives me to think about this video idea of what do you guys think? Do you think FaZe Censor can once again rejoin the professional Call of Duty scene, which for the first time, I think by a lot of people's opinions out there, would be for the first time in several years now? And for all of you CSGO viewers out there who are not exactly sure about his background, that being Censor, I compare him to the CSGO Michael, a guy who has been back and forth, has actually returned to the scene after a few short breaks, has had many short stints with a variety of teams out there, but has never fully really cracked into the scene for good and stayed there. Michael, much a representative story of that. Michael, I think ever since the past 4 to 5 years, has played for nearly 20 teams. He has cracked back into the CSGO scene, especially as of this year with his team No Chance, much like Censor has had his short stints of glory back in the day. He has won several national championships. He has won several titles. He's actually come back with a lot of mixed teams or lesser teams. He's beaten the names of FaZe Clan several times by playing against his own organization, whether it's on Lightning Pandas or other, like I said before, lesser teams. He's also had a short stint back with Complexity and still had decent results along the way with a lot of weird rosters, a lot of weird formulations, and along the way as well, he has been, I wouldn't say screwed over, but certainly had some tough times with the FaZe organization, with other organizations as well, as many pro players do experience. He actually took to Logan Paul's podcast a couple of days ago, I do believe by now, to express the things that went on between him and FaZe. He also made sure to note, though, guys, don't be misled. He did say that nothing malicious was done, right? Of course, his relationships are still intact with FaZe Clan, but he certainly went through a few tough times with the organization.
The best player in Call of Duty history and like destroyed the other guy, and like I basically won the game in like the final clutch moment that you could possibly have. It's basically like Wimbledon when it could be like the final set, like whoever wins this one, like I was the guy who basically made the play to win it.
Damn.
And then Tommy and Banks sat me down. They're like, yo, we want to make this other guy the captain. He's the most winningest player. Other guy didn't want me on the team. I got kicked off, and then I never really was able to play on a good team since then.
So it sounds a bit unfortunate, and I don't want to, maybe sour is the wrong
Sounds
word.
like there's some drama going on.
So
I'm a little, I've always been a little bit hurt about it. Definitely. I've
So
always
then
been
why
hurt.
is FaZe still in your name?
And what really gets me going on the overall topic of can FaZe Censor return to professional Call of Duty, and why I'm leaning towards the answer having to be yes. I think the more tricky part is, of course, will it be with FaZe? Will it be a part of CWL, a very, very limited league with a lot of pro players nowadays? These are the top tier of Call of Duty, and only a limited number of teams actually even get a franchise spots, and with players getting better and better each year, the odds are certainly not in Censor's favor. But alongside that, he actually then took to Hector's podcast just yesterday, and this guy literally spoke the words that kind of define himself in terms of his own insanity, his own craziness to pursue whatever he wants, and as of right now, it seems he wants to pursue Call of Duty.
I guess eights, right? Like how we call them today. But I was like kind of seen as like a bottom player. Nobody really cared or thought I was that good, but I just had this like determination in me to just win. I was like, if this guy can do it, I can do it. I just kept telling myself that if there's another human out there with hands and a brain that's doing this, then there's nothing stopping me.
Yes.
I can do this, man.
I feel the same way.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. I just got to put in the time, you know? And I was crazy about it. Like I almost obsessed over it. I think that's the reason why I had success, because.
And so if it does happen, come back to this next clip I'm going to play for all of you guys again on Hector's podcast. I will link down below both those podcasts if you guys do want to give them a good listen, because he does give a lot of insight, not only on his career and upbringing, but also on his potential future in Call Call of Duty. This guy, like I said before, Doug Martin, Censor, he speaks things into fruition. So if it does come true and he returns to professional Call of Duty and plays in the CWL, the first ever franchise Call of Duty league next year, come back to this video, leave a comment, because he then, at the very middle of this podcast, he randomly says these words, guys. He literally speaks into fruition without FaZe ever even having a spot landed right now for the CWL. Here's what he has said.
I was playing good, but I saw Slash was available, and I watched him at the finals in Ghost, and I was like, I need Slasher. This guy's really good.
Yeah.
Nobody thought he was good. I'm like, I need Slasher on my team. I hit him up right away. He's like, FaZe Clan, I'd love to join you guys. I'm like, we'd love to have you, man. Welcome to the team. And then we won the event again. So,
that's nuts, bro.
dude, he's such a, I to this day, like next year when franchising comes, if I get a franchise spot and a league spot, I'm hitting up Matt. I'm like, listen, what's Austin's buyout?
Not even more than half of the teams have actually committed to a spot, let alone a city, for this franchise league. And we already have Doug, who is not even on FaZe's current Call of Duty roster, saying, when I have a franchise spot, when I have a league spot, he's already picking out players he wants to play with. FaZe is not even confirmed for a spot yet, because the battle for LA, where they potentially want their spot to be for CWL, is one of the most competitive spots in the entire league. And we already have Doug, as crazy, as funny as he is, I mean this in a good way, he's already speaking up into fruition, into existence, the fact that he is going to have a franchise spot and he will play Call of Duty professionally next year, whether it's for FaZe or someone else. He wants to play it professionally. And so overall, once again, the question is to all of you guys, do you think he can do it? As always, my name is Jake, breaking down esports news here daily. Anyone else you want me to talk about next, leave a player name down below and I certainly will look them up. And if their story is as interesting as Doug's is, I will certainly cover them. As always, my name is Jake. I hope you guys all enjoy. I'll see you back here sometime soon. Until then, take care. Bye.